And hello to all my Sagittarius friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for September 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my Great Saggies, a storyline spread, but this is no normal, everyday, average storyline spread. They want this to be about love. Love corner specific to the storyline, so anybody close to your heart can come in on these stories. Love, relationship, family members, close friends, even pets I've seen. So we're gonna see different stories for different Saggies. The storyline spread allows me to be very accurate because it's telling a bunch of stories all in one, a bunch of mini readings. And the whole idea here, even though you may have different parts of the different stories that resonate with you, the whole goal is to find the story that is all about you, and that is what we're going to do here today. They've also asked that I conclude your reading with a very fascinating one that I call Telling Time. Telling Time answers the question to when. Well, when what? Well, we don't know the question yet, but we're going to get the question as well as the answer with your Telling Time. Telling Time brackets about a window of time, and it's usually in the future, about a week. They give you a week window of something to bring your awareness to. They want you to know about something that is coming in your near future more than likely. So that's a fascinating one. We're going to get into that, do some rune stones. I need to tell you about all the extra stuff we're doing too. Not only are we doing your moon cycles, telling you about the new product, the new service in the shop. I just mentioned rune stones. We're doing your chemistry tracking. That is a brand new one that's going to talk about who Sagittarius is vibing with very well in the month of September and who Sagittarius should probably avoid in the month of September. We're going to look into that, your extra spread, and a spread, not a spread, but a situation that I call homily. It's not even a situation. It's more of like a lecture, a little spiritual pep talk for you there that I think you guys will enjoy to go into September with a little bit of strength and encouragement. So we're going to get started right now, guys. No time to waste. Cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a whole bunch of time. And now I'm going to bring you in my overhead so you can watch. Uh-oh. And we are on and recording. There we go. Sagittarius, these are my ritual cuts, cutting each deck into thirds and then putting them back together in a separate order. Satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It's the same procedure for personal private readings, so it's just like you're here with me now. The storyline spread, regardless of whether it's about love or finance or health or whatever it can be about, it always starts with 5 cards. These are your core base 5 cards and arguably the most important ones. And we're going to need to pull more than this. Let me just see where I'm at on the screen here. Okay, we got plenty of room, actually. I'm going to come over here just in case we go long. So we're keeping going. Actually, there's my end right there, and I know that because this person, this queen, is facing back inwards. That brackets me off like that. That's a stop order from Spirit, saying, Scott, we are done with this here. Now, I do need to get the pairings together. So check the inverts first, just to make sure. Yeah, we're only got 2 inverted out of 6. Not enough to matter. That's good. Pairings-wise, looking at one story here. Oh, no, it's actually, this one's going to be off. And so there we go. Now we're looking at 3 stories. The major arcana card is going to be a standalone. Now I need to get more information. These are 2 pip cards, so they're just going to get 1 extra card just to tell a little bit of information about that. Now this I just need to do a discard on since it came up as a page to see if that's a person. They say no. So that's a discard out of the way. And then over here, since the Chariot's a major arcana card, we're going to pull 2 on it. Give us more information there. And that'll be okay for now. And then coming down here to this final story, story 3, we got a lot of people, as you can see. Every single one is a court card, person card. So we're going to see if they're talking about energy definitions or people. First one, they say no. I'm going to leave this card in the spread, though, just because we're kind of short on cards. I'm going to check on this one. Not a person either. This one, not a person either. So we're using full energy definitions for these. They don't want it attached too tightly down to people. That's what we're working with. The last thing we need to do is get an Oracle Angel card for every single story. Every single story gets one of those, and then we just check the inverts one more time. That card became that uninverted. I just flipped it there. So I need to check my inverts one more time. That's not enough to matter. I'll stay here. Over here. That makes it good there. And then down here, 1, 2, 3. Also good. We're all ready to go, guys. Saggy, they were kind of friendly with your spread, if I'm being quite honest with you. So this is going to be story number 1. Love story number 1 right there. Love story 2 will come up to this shorter, well, I guess they're same length. Story 2, right there with Angel Therapy. And then story 3 is going to be your long one, Sagittarius. Long, lots of moving parts. Long horizontally as my table is concerned. So you have seen it all. Let's get to work. Probably should have told you this before, but in case that you want to skip ahead to anything in your reading, I have done a lot of diligent work with chapters. So at the bottom of the YouTube bar, as well as in the description, it shows all the timestamps of everything now. So you can come back to something if you want to see it again very easily. All right, let's get started, Saggy. Keep in mind, this is a love spread. Love, love, love. Love is in the air. Perhaps. Let's find out. Story 1, Saggies. The first card that they bring in for my attachment card is a little bit of freedom going on here. So if you have kind of been tied down before and now you're not, or you're kind of on a break, or you're just kind of, hey, you know what, I'm just going to kind of play the field a little bit here. This could very well be you. And this is just freedom in general. So even if, I don't want to rule out my married people either, because maybe you're taking a trip or something here by yourself. Maybe you're going on a business trip or something like that. That would be more freedom than usual, and that could be your attachment card to come in here. So that's what they talk about first, is that there's more freedom going on as September begins for Sagittarius here in Story 1. The next thing they talk about here, they said not a person, but they want to bring in a work message, okay? So a lot of you Saggies really love your work, especially if you're in Story 1 with me here, and that's a great thing to see, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people are slaves to their job in the workforce and that money thing, you know? So here they're saying that's not the case. If you really love your work, what they're showing here is that you're going to get a message very early in the month of September, something very prominent about your work. And I'm looking ahead down your other stories, and this is really the only one where they talked about work. This is for the Sagittarius who are in love with their work, really love what they do, and that's probably why it's coming in this form in a love spread. They show that everything is the way it's supposed to be right now. They want you to look past the illusion and see the underlying order. That is me reading the Divine Order card verbatim as it sits. So they're basically telling you that things are starting to work out here in mysterious ways. Whether this is about the work aspect or whether this is about the freedom aspect, either way, this order is starting to kind of weave this web, and you're starting to kind of figure it out like, okay, well, I did this because I had to do this, or I had to learn this and go through this before I could get here and meet this person, or, you know, whatever they're talking about here. And we do have one more moving part to tell you about. They bring in my Hoarder card. So they're saying the last kind of step for you here in Story 1, Saggies, is to let something go. Stop being a hoarder, stop holding it all, and it's time to open it up a little bit. This can be a message that kind of hits different ways. For example, if this is about money and doing something you love for work, this could be a way of saying open up the purse, open up the wallet. You can spend a little bit, maybe invest in yourself a little bit here, okay? For other people, this could be something that you're hanging on to that's just negative. You got to let go of it. It's like a booger bear hanging on your back, right? So we can talk about that with full moon, because that's very full moon-like energy, and we're going to get to that in the moon cycles. But first, I want to do your Story 2. Story 2, Sagittarius, the first thing we talk about as your connector card, they bring in actually very warm and welcome in the love corner. Very warm and welcome with my, I'm sorry, I read that incorrect. I thought that was a 5 of Pentacles. It's still a very good card, but it's my 10 of Pentacles. It's showing that the home needs more of the energy, though, to get to that love. Kind of the same definition, but a different vibe, a little kind of different framework there. And the home is calling for it. So, Saggies here in Story 2, if you have been maybe away from the home, not putting energy, or maybe they're talking about projects here, putting money into the home, it can be about that too, or just spending more time with the family in general. This could be your story here, okay? And that's what gets you to the warm and fuzzy that I first started to mention. Now, they do show the Chariot card here, so they show that the energy for you guys is going in a couple different ways here. The love corner is kind of split off. It's segmented, and Spirit saying, hey, you know what, Saggy? If you're here in Story 2, we got to get this a little bit tunnel vision. We got to bring this back on one track. We cannot get you derailed on 2 different paths, 2 different tricks. What's going on in your love corner? Okay, so that is very much about movement, about getting your movement on a course. The next thing they show here is the Tower card on an invert. This is a card about quick change, shake up, break up, make up energy. It can be any one of the bunch here. And what they show here, with it being inverted, it shows that like you kind of see this coming a little bit here. So it is not completely a surprise. Whatever this change is, it may not be a makeup, a shakeup, a breakup, but it's quick change regardless. That is with the energy of the card. And they're saying that you can kind of see this coming. You can see the writing on the wall. This is not a surprise to you. It's not going to take you off guard. It still happens quickly, and maybe quicker than you'd like it to, but this is quick change happening with the family, with the love corner, and things are happening for a reason. They bring in angel therapy therapy next to kind of just push this whole thing together. And it says in the card specifically to give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens from you. I actually just saw that on a church. Like they put the little screen out with like, a little phrase or a Bible verse or something like that. I drove past literally that verbatim the other day. So this is Spirit working in weird ways to kind of let me know how important this is. Story 2 is going to be huge for you guys. And for those of you that it attaches to, I guess that whatever the quick change happening with your family that you expect, you're probably correct, because I don't think they're really taking you off guard by any of this. And the advice. The advice is to put the energy into the family, the ones that you care about. Maybe for some of you, it's friends. Maybe friends are the way out of some of this. So anyway, very, very strong story there. Now, before I get into your story 3, which is the big, long story, I do want to break away for your moon cycles. We teased the full moon in story 1. Pay attention to that when we hit the moon cycles, and I did a focus on the new moon so you guys get it all. Okay, guys, it is moon cycle forecast time, and the moons for September are starting to calm down. September, October, through the rest of 2023, the moon cycles are a little bit more solemn. However, you can still use this energy, the full and the new moon, to implement positive change into your life, because after all, the moon does have a gravitational lock on this planet of ours, and it's strong enough to pull the water of Earth towards space. The water bulges, and that's what the tides do, moving in and out. And after all, aren't we mostly water as well? You think it has an effect on us? Absolutely it does. So here's what's going on. Linear speaking, the first thing that hits as we enter September, we're still dealing with full moon energy from August. Now, this is the best time to get stuff out of your life. I want to focus more on the full moon later in the month, but as we enter the month early, that's when most people are checking out these videos. So I'm letting you know that right now, it's a good time to break habits, a good time to get stuff out of your life. People wrap up projects, anything that's got to go. That is the energy of the full moon here early in September. Now, I want to focus on the new moon, because new moon September 14th, this is going to be significant just because I got something special to share about the new moon. I stumbled upon this a few months ago, and I was waiting for the right time to do it. And this is the moon cycle where I'm going to share it. This is from a very gnostic text. I forget which one it was. It might have been the book of Adam and Eve, one of these books that was held back from the Bible, from the Pope. And very interesting things, because all these events happen during the new moon. This goes back to the flood story, which is not just in biblical texts, but it's in a bunch of different religious texts. New moon, that was when Noah was commanded to make the ark. Happened on a new moon. And he entered into the ark, also on a new moon. New moon is when the water stopped. Of course, these are not sequential new moons. It's not just one after another, but these events happened under a new moon. Here's another one. The tops of the mountains were first seen under a new moon. The earth, like the bottom, the lower levels of the earth, became visible from the floods going down under a new moon. And finally, Noah went forth from the ark under, you guessed it, a new moon. So you think new moon's relevant? Or what else are they trying to tell us in that book? I would say it's quite important. So the new moon, best time to bring things into your life. Start something new. Start a new diet. Go for a new job. Try to get something new going in the work corner. Something new in the love corner. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're trying to implement into your life, the new moon brings in the manifest. So it's the best time to pray. If you're a prayer, or if you like to just manifest things with just meditation or whatever it is that you do, this is the best time, middle of the month, guys. And we get back into that full moon energy, like I told you, late in September. This is the key for getting things out. I know we talked about it being early in the month, but it happens stronger for September late. In fact, it's the 29th. So the very last few days of September are incredibly strong for getting things out of your life. Got something you got to sell, repurpose, finish up an old project, kick somebody out of your life, kick a bad habit. Doesn't matter what it is. That is full moon energy, guys. Use that to your benefit. And I also have a moon cycle cheat sheet that I always put on my website for you. It's there for free every single month. It's on my talking about page, stuff that I'm talking about. You can scroll down and see that moon cycle guide. It's a little visual aid just to help you understand how these energies move in and out. While you're there, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter as well. Give my newsletter people a couple great things every single year, usually in the terms of free readings, and also great promo codes. It's just one email that I send out every single month, so that is a no-brainer. Follow the Facebook page as well. That's for contests and giveaways, all kinds of great stuff on the channel. And before I let you go, I want to tell you about the brand new service on the website. It is called Pet Connect. by popular demand, people wanting to check in on their pets, see how they're doing. A little bit of profound stuff can be had in this way. I made this product very, very affordable. I want to make it super friendly so that anybody can check this out. I know I get asked all the time about pets. Are they in heaven? Can we check in on them? All this kind of stuff. Is it even possible? The short answer is yes. It is a complicated situation, but it can be done, and to the point where I've made a product to just deliver that service to my great clients. And that is available, scottsagent.com, launching on Labor Day, guys. Labor Day is the day for that. And when you see that launch on there will be a video that goes with it that talks all about it, shows you the ins and outs and how it works. So check that out as well. The gemstones in the shop are still buy one, get one with the free charm. Any gemstone purchase in the shop will come with a free charm as well as a free little bag. It's kind of like a buy one, get 3 items for free, and that is running through the end of the year, so that's worth checking out as well, guys. Let's get back to your reading. Okay, Sagittarius, I am back for story 3, and while I was just in that pause that I take here, I got a little whisper in my ear from Spirit saying in story 1, this can be for some of my singles about getting involved with somebody at work too. Okay, so we talked about the workplace in a big way there in story 1. It can also be meeting people in the work corner. Okay, story 3. The first thing we bring up to attach to is in action with work. In action with work. So this is if you just pump the brakes on a coworker here, just like we talked about that being a thing. Over here they're saying now this is the opposite of that. This is where this is not a thing, where work is not happening. I am not meeting anybody at work. I don't like them. We don't get along. I want to meet somebody who is blank. A doctor, somebody who has more common interest to me. Okay, so this is like the completely divergent path from story 1. Now, usually Spirit weaves a web and we can see a lot of common ground between here, but this is where Sagittarius is, besides story 2, have gone in 2 totally different directions. So they show inaction with that. So if that's the case, you're not really sure where to go, is what they show. A lot of you are a little bit unsure. It's clouded. They show you driving blind a little bit here, showing you don't know if you want to do this or that. It could be a choice between 2 things, 2 people, 2 paths, and they show basically Spirit is saying it doesn't matter. You're okay either way. So you don't need to stress about it. This is not the time for you to be worried about it, because either way, they're kind of looking ahead down your path. Spiritual GPS is basically saying it's going to reroute you. Even if you take the wrong path here, or what you think is the wrong path, spiritual GPS is going to bring you right back to this point, some kind of apex point anyway, so you're okay. You don't got to worry about it. And they don't show that you are worried about it, but at the same time, it's on your mind. And if it's on your mind, it's in the spread. Now, the next thing we show here is the Page of Pentacles. They said not the person, though. So this is a money, financial, or health message. Weird thing to come up in the health corner, or not the health corner, but the love spread in general. But Spirit pops in what they want to pop in. So they're letting you know there's a correspondence here. If that sounds like you, if this is your story, there is a financial or a health message coming very early in September. This is not going to be like anywhere beyond probably the 14th. 14th and on, forget about it. This is going to happen this is the first 2 weeks of September. So it is a message about money. Maybe something you weren't expecting. They're saying, hey, to look out for, or this could be happening, or this could also be a health message where you're finding out something about your health. Maybe some of you are starting something new with health. It could be like any kind of correspondence, really. It's so hard to pinpoint in a general reading. Good time to tell you, too, in a general reading, we got this Sagittarius bubble energy, and thankfully, we can break it into stories and be a little bit more accurate in that way, but we're still dealing with a lot of Sagittariuses, and you guys are great. I love you all. However, nothing beats a personal private reading. There is no bubble energy. You're not sharing the reading with all your friends. So a personal private reading is the way to go if you want clarity on any of this that we're talking about. That is all available on scottsagent.com. I offer a wide variety of different services and products, a little something for everybody from small all the way up to full service. So they bring in that correspondence, guys, correspondence with finance or health, something to look out for early. Now, we do have social kind of coming in as a problem. I was going to say problem, but that's a little bit strong. It may not be a problem, but it's something that needs to be adjusted, something that needs your awareness, at least. And social unrest, which is social coming in on a block, is basically saying you're doing one of 2 extremes. Either you're not doing anything social, like your homebody, and you're just sitting on the couch, watching Netflix, doing whatever else, and you're not getting out there, you're not meeting people, you're not doing much of anything. That would be one extreme. The other extreme is that you're doing that all the time. You're going out and you're partying all the time, forgetting the nights. spending a bunch of money, living lavishly, maybe beyond your means. That's the other end of this. And Spirit is saying what you need to do, regardless of which end you are, is you need to find this middle ground. We got to have a happy little median here that is found and reached, and that is a call to your awareness to get there. And you can definitely do it, Sagittarius, otherwise they wouldn't be talking about it. So don't think you cannot. Next thing we show, speaking about the same subject too, and this can all be tied into that social unrest. So keep that in mind too. They talk about nurturing money or nurturing your health. It can be better for your money if you withdraw from this a little bit. It can be better for your health if you withdraw from, example, alcohol or other habits, something like that. Other things that you would do socially. Okay, this could be better for your health, better for your wallet, better for your purse, your checkbook, the whole bit. So keep all that in mind. The next thing we show here is that there is some boredom coming in here. So it makes me feel like kind of regardless of whether you're staying at home or you're going out all the time, you're getting bored with either one. So it's almost like Spirit is pointing you back toward this medium ground anyway. Okay, they're trying to get you back to a nice little mix, nice little balancing act. And they bring in counselor too. So it's a weird thing to pop up here, but it says in the card you are a natural counselor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. So this is kind of making me feel like you need to pass this on to somebody, that whatever you have learned through the story of you, your love story, those that are close to your heart, what have you learned? It's like other people can benefit from this. I don't know if they're your close friends, or maybe if this is something you write about or do something, a creative outlet where you would share this, but a lot of you, Spirit is popping in and let me know. Maybe this is just for one of you. I don't know, but I have to do this in a general reading. Whatever they tell me to do, I am the interpreter. I am the translator. So that is what we're talking about here. Counselor. You guys can really help other people. Going back to the boredom card though, you got to find something to get interested in here. So whatever that is what you need to find, okay? If you decide, hey, online dating ain't it for me, well then find something that is, okay? If dating actually is not it for you, maybe you decided that, you're on the other side and you be like, you know what, I'm just done with guys for this year. Maybe in 2024 we'll start messing with it again, but for right now, I'm good, okay? You're getting bored of something. You got to find something to get interested in. Maybe it has nothing to do with love. Maybe it's picking up a new hobby or interest. So there we go. Story 3. That concludes your regular part of your reading. And now we're going to get into your extras, guys. The first extra we're going to do is your Rune Stone. Rune Stone time. Actually, before I get rid of that, I shouldn't have done that. Let me pull the Rune Stone just so I can look at the cards while I do it. I like to be pretty thorough with you guys. Give them one more swirl. They're already mixed up. Your runestone is this guy right here, and it's a funny one for a Love Corner one, because we're talking about the rune of partnership, guys. Partnership. Start thinking about doing things with other people. Makes me feel like if you're single, you need to start thinking about the long-term approach to this. What is your goal? Doesn't mean you need to rush into things right now, but hey, you know what? Where do you want to be a year from now? 3 years from now, 5 and 10 years from now. Start thinking about this. This is partnership that they're talking about. That was a very story 3 thing. Partnership in story 2 can be about the partnership in your home environment, the partnership that you already have. Partnership in story 1 is finding your way and getting out of this hoarding, whatever you're hanging on to. That's going to open whatever you've been hanging on to. It must be something that Spirit is really kind of pushing for you to get rid of, because it's in the way. It's almost like a speed bump, but more than that. It is like a field of speed bumps, or I guess a road of speed bumps and speed humps and just cones and obstacles, all this junk in your way, and you got to get that junk out of there so you can find partnership. So there's partnership through all 3 of the stories, guys, and now I can move some of this out of my way and we can get into your chemistry tracking. Now, chemistry tracking is a brand new one that I do. In fact, I'm not pulling any cards for it because the card work's already done. I've already done all that. So basically, we're just discussing my notes, and this is what they have for Sagittarius. I always give Spirit an out in case they don't want to talk about something. They have the option and alternative to do that. They did not want to talk about your weak connection, Saggy. So for whatever reason, maybe they thought you'd overanalyze it, or maybe you don't have a weak connection. That's possible too. So anyway, they left that one blank, but they did give you your strong connection. Sagittarius, very strongly connected to Libras in the month of September. Just something to keep in mind for those of you who are single. Some good connections can be had there with Libra, maybe in other ways too. Maybe your boss is a Libra and you guys are going to get along really well. Maybe they're going to give you a raise. Maybe your best friend is a Libra and you're just going to go hang out with them and have a great time in September. So this is just kind of the ebbs and the flows of strong versus weak connection. They want to talk about your strong. So I'm getting rid of those cards really quickly, and we are getting into the next portion of your reading. Moving right along, we are getting into your extra spread right now, which is telling time. Telling time, I like to reshuffle if I've used more than 10 cards. And I did. I used 12. So I'm going to reshuffle them and cut away real quick. While I do that, I'll be right back. Okay, Sagittarius, I am back. Cards have been reshuffled. I'm going to ritual cut it one final time, and here we go with your telling time. Telling time goes through rounds. So if we get our marker in our first round, that just means that the date is extremely important, that you just cannot miss it. We already have a date. So I'm going to continue just in case there are more than one date in this setup, which can happen. If there's 2 windows of opportunities that they want to tell you about, that this is the way that they would do so. So there, I just finished my round, and they just gave you one date. So there's only one that they want you to focus on. So I have it right there. And we're going to go at 1, 2, 3, attach time to it. Go a card over here about what this is about, because we got to figure out when for what, as well as an angel card. So all that stuff is done, guys, and now I just need to do some math and figure out what this date is. So I'm going to cut away one more time. Okay, Sagittarius, I am back with your date. I have compiled the math, and your date is very, very late in April. It's actually early May. So I'm just going to call it early May. The specific date is May 4th, but I like to bracket about a week around it. So we're going to call it the first week of May. Now, what is this first week of May all about? What are they trying to tell you about? Well, think about 8 months from now. Do you have a goal that would be more financial or more health related? Because I have a pentacle, and pentacles can be one of the two. Usually it's not both. Okay, so if you have financial goals that you want to get to blank by about 8 months from now, that would be it. If you have health goals that you want to get to a certain place in about 8 months from now, they would be talking about this. Now, what they're telling you here is that there's hard work to be done. Okay, so this is basically why they're telling you right now, is so you can start. You need to start doing the hard work right now. So by the time 8 months, a little less than a year comes around, this is going to be attained. You're going to have this accomplished. Basically, they show in my angel card next to it, overcoming difficulties. It's letting you know by getting here in May, the worst is now behind you. Everything is much smoother, and you're surmounting any previous challenges. So it's such a good energy. I can see why Spirit wanted me to tell you about it. It's so you don't miss it. It's so you start doing the work right now. So when you get to this point, you are A-okay and kicking good with the financial goals or the health goals. So there you go, telling time. Also available as a personal private product just for you. If you don't want this bubble energy, you have a question that you want answered when? Telling time is a great product to pick up. It's helped a lot of people. So there we go. Let's move into your very last section. This is the last cut, guys, I promise. It is called Homily. It's a little spiritual guidance and a little lecture. Just a couple minutes here and leave you with some strength for your month. Okay, guys, it is time for your homily, September 2023. The very first homily ever is being recorded right now. You are a part of history, guys. So the topic that I want to talk to you about today is a realization that I had at a water park last month, of all places. That's what kind of inspired me to tell you this story and kind of make this part of your extended reading. And I took my daughter on a small mini vacation to South Florida. That's kind of where this whole thing started. Went to a water park. It was very small, but very nice, very pleasurable. It had a little kids section, a couple larger slides for more of the adults. The kids love that too. And a lazy river, which of course everybody likes. And you know what a lazy river is more than likely. And if you don't, it's just a small little stream that current pushes you around, mostly in inner tubes. So this is where my story takes place that I wanted to share with you guys. I was going down the lazy river, and it was a small course. It maybe took you about 10-15 minutes to go around the whole thing. And they had some good water squirts that would happen. You know, sometimes it was like a waterfall where you just got penetrated by water, just that was like free falling. Other times it was pressurized, like more of like a squirt gun and like a spray, and just different kind of textures and varieties that you'd pass through and go under. And it was very nice. And I'd been through it a couple times, and my good friend took my daughter to go on the big slide. She wanted to go on the big slide, so I was in the lazy river by myself, and I'd already been around the course a couple times by this point, so I knew the course pretty well, at least I thought I did. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try something a little different here. I'm sitting on this inner tube, going down a nice little current in a course. I decided to close my eyes and see what changed when I did so. Now, everything changed. First of all, your senses heighten. When you're looking like this, you're blindfolded, your hearing, especially there, hearing was what's heightened the most for me. I was hearing that water coming way ahead of time, and I was apprehensive. I didn't know when it was coming. I just knew that it was. And I didn't know if I was going to be pushed into it or if I was going to be pushed around it, because there's kind of different ways you could go. And it just changes things when you don't see it. When you cannot see what's coming, it changes the way that your body reacts to it. It's just almost like a chemical reaction. You don't have a choice in the matter. It's just the way that it is. And it wasn't scary, but I could see for some people that it could be. And the only reason it wasn't scary is because I knew I was safe. If I was doing that like in an actual river, I would be a little scared, because I'd be wondering if that noise I'm hearing is actually like a waterfall or like a pretty big drop, or something dangerous was gonna happen to me. Of course, it was a controlled environment, so it wasn't scary, but you still had the stress. You still had the apprehension and the nerves very heightened. So the realization that I ended up having, basically the moral of this whole story, is that it reminded me of people who do not seek any kind of spiritual progress with their daily paths, their daily lives, tarot readings, a little bit of divination and forecasting, because that's what it does. It allows you to open your eyes to see the things that are coming. Most people are just driving blind. They're going through their entire lives like this. What I do, the ability to forecast and share my divination with you in this way, and with my personal private readings especially, you can look into all that stuff. You can see the things that are coming. You can plan and prepare a little bit for things. So it's not so scary. You don't have to be apprehensive about things. It gives you a calm, just knowing when things are coming and how you can align certain things to these occurrences that are in some ways going to come regardless. Sometimes you go around it. Sometimes you go through it. So that is your homily for September 23. Thank you so much for tuning into the readings. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have delivering it to you. I hope you have a great September. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.